Stress is deadly. Schools, parents, and communities are constantly looking for ways to help combat stress in teens and how to help these kids. This is a pandemic that is affecting our youth. More and more teenagers are suffering from mental health issues such as anxiety, stress, and depression. According to ACOG, 1 in 5 people ages 9 to 17 are suffering from a diagnosable mental illness. And the rate of severe or major depression has risen 11% to 12% since 2015. But what is causing this pandemic? Stress is looked at as a factor. These statistics are increasing at a very alarming rate. The levels of stress in a general teenager's life is growing. But why is it more stressful for teenagers who grow up now as opposed to teenagers who grew up 50 years ago? What are some things that have made teens more stressed? Well, life for a teenager can prove to be extremely stressful. Take it from me. I've dealt with my fair share of stress as a teenager. It is a tricky thing to deal with. Having to balance life, academics, and extracurricular activities can seem impossible at times. A study by frontiersin.org found that 49% of students at selected high schools deal with high levels of stress. Schools and parents are looking for ways to help kids through this stress, but the stress isn't always coming from school. Yes, school is a large part of the stress, but it isn't a main reason that kids are being stressed. Teen stress can come from a number of things: schools, sports, social media, friend groups, and other things. Teens are constantly trying to fit in and be cool due to the new age of social media. Everyone feels like they have to try and make friends with the popular kids, and the popular kids feel like they have to try to keep staying popular. All this builds together to make kids extremely stressed. This is when a rising number of teens are starting to suffer from social anxiety. This is when you feel that anything that you say or do will be the wrong choice, and you're constantly second-guessing yourself. This can take its toll and make kids really start to feel badly about themselves. As I've said before, these things like social anxiety and growing piles of homework have always been a pile of stress. It's not just kids nowadays that suffer from stress, however. So why then are modern teens suffering from record high cases of mental illness? What is the one thing that separates this generation from the others? Technology. Teens today have grown up immersed in technology. Most teens have their phone within 5 feet of them at all times. This addition of technology in teens' lives is making them more and more stressed out. What really separates this new age of technology in teens and social media? Social media was invented as a way to connect, to see what your friends are doing when you can't catch up with them at all times. It seemed a harmless, great idea at first, but there's one key flaw that comes to social media. No one's posting the bad parts about their lives, they're only posting the good parts about their lives. This makes it so kids that are looking at social media are seeing all the fun things that their friends are doing while they might just be at home by themselves. This has created a new term that's called FOMO, fear of missing out. Everyone wants people to like them. It's human nature. Teens think that if their peers see them doing fun things on social media, they will think better of them. This leads to them having the fear of missing out on anything. Teens want to be involved in everything so that they are not that one kid who wasn't at the lake, at the basketball game, or at that one party. This constant anxiety of trying to be involved in everything is taking its toll on the youth of our country. Teens have a hard time dealing with stress on their own. They need help to cope with it, and the one place that it should be helping them is failing its job. Schools are not doing enough to help stress. Many schools offer ways to cope with stress, but many of these programs are revolved around kids or helping kids with the stress of school, not social media. New programs need to be put in place to fix this ever-growing issue. These programs could be a great way to help teens cope with this stress. A great way to get kids that are struggling with stress and anxiety to attend these programs would have them be run by other students. This way, the teens will feel like they can talk to the person more than an adult. This will be a great way to help solve the issue that is high school social stress. The stress of schoolwork on top of the stress of social life can prove a deadly combo. This is an issue that needs to be talked about more often and needs to be solved.